So this is just a follow-up video that I made on the Tempest Strike Aftershock build. A lot of people commented and seem to be super confused, and they say things about the build and try to improve it without understanding how the build works. They think it's a regular Earthquake build where you use swipe usually, at least before. There are some people using Tempest as well, I guess, for the same reasons, but you use swipe, then you use earthquake, and earthquake is your damage, and you can still pivot into aftershock, and it becomes like an aftershock dot build with still swipe being the generator, your mana generator, because you're spending a lot of mana. So the difference is obviously here you're never ever pressing earthquake. It's not even on our hotbar. The only reason we are spec'd into earthquake is to proc the aftershocks, and the aftershocks procs are these little bumps coming up from the earth all around, right? And yeah, that's like it's totally completely different build. Here you just run around, you never have any mana issues, you don't have to manage your mana, you just hit. There's no downtime on your DPS because you don't have to wait to use swipe to regenerate your mana and go again. You don't have a lot of conditionals. Of course, it is better if you use your Warcry and your totem and stuff. But you don't have to, especially while monoing. This feels so much better because you just jump from pack to pack and you just hit them with Tempest, and the idols will proc the aftershocks, and that's again the only reason why we're spec'd into Earthquake is to proc aftershocks. It's not because we're using Earthquake, the skill itself. So to go through it a bit deeper, the only thing we're using here in Tempest Strike are things that basically makes you hit faster, regenerate mana, and hit harder, because Tempest Strike actually ends up doing quite a bit of damage at the high end because it's free damage. You're always hitting something with Tempest Strike. You can see those numbers too. They are not huge, but they're there. So it's just free damage, right? And that's also, someone else commented, why aren't you scaling the dot? We are scaling the dot, but of course we're going to use melee damage, flat melee damage as the base. If you don't have any base damage, you have nothing to scale. You have 2 damage. 2 damage is the base damage of Aftershock. So if you're just scaling that, you're going to have issues. You need as much flat damage as you can. Again, my weapon sucks. You should have flat damage on this one in particular as a prefix or as an affix. So you have something to scale. It's a lot easier to scale, let's say 135 flat, than it is to scale 2 flat, right? So you need a lot of melee flat because aftershock scale with melee hit damage. So you have melee flat, and then you scale that with increased fizz because that increases your tempest output, which is again free damage. So why use damage over time when you get the same modifier from using damage over time or increased fizz? Because the affix strength of those two affixes are mostly the same, right? So why not choose the one that scales both instead of just one of them? And here in Warcry, this is pretty standard. Like this is what you're mostly concerned with. What you just want the Fury strikes. You get a lot of attack speed, but it's very smooth that you can pull in packs and stuff like that. So area and pull them in, very good. Here you're leaping for cleanse to get frenzy if you don't want to put up your totem at every pack, which I don't. I just jump from pack to pack. You reset it down here, so it's almost up all the time. You get flat damage here, which again helps your scaling of your aftershocks. This is just to bit more area, and you can do a lot of things here. Like I have it here, so I pull them in, so I get a free pull every time I jump. You can do other stuff as well. The only thing you really need is the reset, the cleanse, the frenzy, and the flat damage. For the totems, again, you want global melee damage because that's again your main source of damage. That's how you scale aftershocks. You want a lot of flat, and then you want to scale that with more and increased modifiers. You want the tether range for this node. You get the global increased multiplier of all your damage. Increased duration, just because why not? And more health on your totem for AoE and stuff against bosses. It stays up a bit longer, and a bit more area, and then increase the frenzy effect, which is the innate 20% increased attack speed, which we are after. So again, it's not an earthquake build. You never press earthquake. You just chop away like a happy melee boy, right? You get big damage without having to, you know, scale anything. I mean in terms of mana and stuff, right? And for the passives, pretty standard. You want the low life stuff. You want to be able to dual wield. Everything else, very standard Beastmaster or Primalist starter tree. In the Beastmaster side of things, some people told me, why aren't you using Circle of Life? And you know, you want to have aspect of the shark and stuff. It's just flat out not good after the nerf. Once you get 10 max stack nerfed this skill, like in actuality, while you're mapping, I was gonna say, while you're doing monos, it's not even that big of a deal because you can't keep up your stacks, and it's just flat out worse. You can try it if you want to. I tried it. It's not good. Here you just get like almost 75% uptime on your ambush anyway, which is, you know, 75% more multiplier. No, increased multiplier, and then you get a 10% more multiplier because of the attack speed. You want the flat damage again, same reason, attack speed we talked about so much. This is just a filler node. Flat, very good, we like. Strength, why not? And well, more importantly, aspect of the boar chance on melee hit. That's the whole deal, right? For defense. So that's the Beastmaster tree. In the Shaman tree, I don't have enough points because I'm not high level enough. The most important one is actually this one. You get increased attack speed with an active totem, and that's 25% increased attack speed, which is a very good multiplier for our build. And we do this, well, you need 15 points to get Earthquake, and since I'm doing very fine on damage at the moment, I just opted to do this, save these for last, and put 1 point here and 5 points here. This is just for shield, free shield, which is very good because in our earthquake tree we're having 150% more damage with our aftershock on shield enemies. So it's 150% more multiplier, which is huge. So shield is very important. And since we're hitting ridiculously fast with the perma shield, you always have max shield stacks whatever you're fighting, right? So that's the thing with this build. Like, the whole thing is that you're not using earthquake, you're just proccing aftershocks with 4 of these idols. That's the whole bit. So it's not an earthquake build. There's swipe earthquake build. I've played that myself. It's a strong build. It's very strong for bossing, but I would say it's marginally stronger than this in a vacuum on a boss. But for monoing, this is way better. Can't come close with that build because it's so clunky, and you have to manage your mana. So you're trying to suck up big packs, and then you use your stuff, then you regen your mana and you go again. Here you just free as a bird, jump around, do your thing. So yeah, this video is only for people who had a hard time understanding the concept of the build with the shorter video I made, which are the kind of videos I prefer. I hate it when people talk too much, and I've talked way too much in this video, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, take care, bye.